Let's do it. This is actually a pretty good topic tonight. I'm feeling it. I actually like it. I want to discuss this, man. I do. I do want to discuss this. 100% I do. I want to discuss the difference between how people view the better player versus the guy who plays the best. Because those two things are not the same. They're not. Many people see the better player and automatically assume that that's just the end of it. When ultimately, it's a lot more than that. It's so much more than the better player, because what the better player, when he gets outplayed, when the better player gets outplayed, and I'm convinced of this, what that does, especially when you're talking about the best player on the planet, I think the better player, when he gets outplayed, that snatches off the invincibility tag. Now we're talking about you different. The guy that I think about the most when I think about this specific topic is I think about Mike Tyson. Before Mike Tyson got in the ring with Buster Douglas, there was an invincibility aura about him. And with that being said, right, with that invincibility aura about him, that was more than half the battle. 9 times out of 10, anybody who got in the ring with him automatically lost. And the reason why they lost is because they were already psychologically defeated, because he had this invincibility tag on him. You couldn't beat him in that way because everybody was scared of him. So when Buster Douglas now knocks him out in the 10th round, which basically knocked the earth being on an axle, Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson on February 11th in 1990 knocked the earth off its axle, because this was the baddest man on the planet, and it wasn't a question who it was. He was the baddest man on the planet, and now we go from him now being the baddest man on the planet to he can be beat. So no longer is he undisputed the heavyweight champion of the world. No longer can we say that. So when you take that invincibility tag off of a guy, now what happens is they're no longer undisputed the best player. And I've seen better players get outplayed. So when better players get outplayed, just because your skill set is better, just because you're the better athlete, but when you get outplayed, just because your skill set is better, you're the better athlete. When you get outplayed, that matters. And it matters in the aspect that there's now a conversation for other people. That now happens. So when I watch Mike Tyson get outboxed, when I watched Buster Douglas stand up to him, right? I watched Buster Douglas stand up to him and basically drop him, outbox him, outjab him. When he did all of that, now you being the best boxer on the planet, that aura of invincibility is stripped, and now that undisputed tag is stripped. When you are the best player on the planet and you get outplayed, that aura of invincibility is now stripped from you. And now it's a question of whether or not you're still the best player on the planet. That's why I live by the logic that better players or the best player can get outplayed, which means that now there's a question of whether or not you are still the best. So whenever I hear a guy like Joker, for example, whenever I hear a guy like Joker has been outplayed before. So with Joker being outplayed, Joker can no longer be, even though during that time, right? During that time, Joker wasn't considered the best player on the planet. In the 2019-2020 season, right? In the 2019-2020 season, Joker was not considered the best player on the planet. He was not considered the second best player on the planet or the third best player on the planet. No, he was not. But in 2024, I think Joker is the best player on the planet. If I'm staying consistent with my logic, I think he's the best player on the planet. With that being said, is it undisputed? No, it's not. It's not undisputed because he's been outplayed before. And because he's been outplayed before, he hasn't been outplayed recently. So as of right now, I think the title is his. As of right now, I think the title is his title. Right? I think the title is his title. And because I think the title is his title, he just got it from Giannis. Because I thought Giannis was the best player on the planet because of what he had done. And then it changed because Joker being the back-to-back league MVP, and in the process of him being the back-to-back league MVP, wins the NBA championship and outplays Jimmy Butler or whoever the best player was on that unit to become the finals MVP. So in the span of time, he didn't just win the NBA championship. In the span of time, this is what he did in order to become, quote unquote, the heavyweight champion of the world. When I think about a guy being undisputed, the heavyweight champion of the world, when I think about a guy being undisputed, the best player on the planet, there has to be a stretch where it's not a question. It's not even a question. So when I think about James, for example, James got outplayed in 2020 by a better player. I mean, James got outplayed by a lesser player. I'm sorry. James was the best player in that 2011 finals, but he got outplayed by a lesser player in Dirk Nowitzki. So because he got outplayed by a lesser player, now there's a question. People question whether or not, is he the best player on the planet? I still thought that he was, but it wasn't undisputed. It was not undisputed. When he goes the next year after winning the NBA, after winning the league MVP for the third time in 4 years, and then winning the NBA championship, and then winning the finals MVP, I thought he was the best player on the planet. But it still was disputed at that point. It wasn't undisputed, considering how he had just gotten outplayed. The next year, when they won the NBA championship against San Antonio in back-to-back seasons, and he played the way he did in those playoffs, I thought that it was undisputed he was the best player on the planet. So when I think about you being the better player versus playing better, those two things are not the same. Because better players get outplayed. I watched Jason Tatum outplay Kevin Durant in 2022 in the playoffs while they swept them out of the playoffs. And I don't think that in 2022, Jason Tatum was a better player than Kevin Durant. I didn't think that. In 2022, I did not think that Jason Tatum was a better player than Kevin Durant. I did watch him outplay a better player, though. So what does that mean for Kevin Durant? Are you undisputed the best small forward in the game? Not no more. You probably still are the best small forward in the NBA, but now it's a conversation. Now, it wasn't what it was before, where it was you, it was James, and then it was everybody else. Well, now it's no longer that. And when you're talking about a guy being a better player as opposed to playing better, what would you rather? Would you rather the better player, or would you what would I rather? Would I rather the better player, or would I rather the guy playing better? Well, that depends on the circumstances. Because I don't know if I want Klay Thompson, who's playing better, over Kobe Bryant, who's the better player. I'm not sure that I want that. Even though Klay Thompson, who's playing better, that could lead to the NBA championship. But do I want Klay Thompson? Do I want Klay Thompson over who's playing fantastic at this particular time? Do I want Klay Thompson over Kobe Bryant, who is the better player at that time? Because I'm confident that Kobe Bryant's going to be better. I know that. So with that being said, all right, with that being said, I think about how players are viewed, right? I think about how players are viewed, and when I think about how players are viewed, I do see that there's some discrepancy. But when I think about the best player on the planet, and I think about how he could get outplayed, it begs the question of who is more valuable, not just who is more valuable. What would you rather? The best player or the guy who's playing better? And what is more important? Because I did watch Chauncey Billups, who is not a better player than Kobe Bryant, outplay him in the NBA Finals. Chauncey Billups was a better player in 2004 than Gary Payton. Yes, he was. In 2004, Chauncey Billups was a better lead guard than Gary Payton. Was he a better lead guard than Gary Payton in 1997? No, he was not. But in 2004, he was a better lead guard than Gary Payton. Was he a better player than Kobe Bryant in 2004? No, he was not. Did he outplay Kobe Bryant in those NBA Finals? He did. Yes, he did. Now, with that being said, would I ever say that Chauncey Billups is a better player than Kobe Bryant? No, I would not say that. But with Bryant being in the conversation for best player in the league, now it becomes a topic of conversation where it's not undisputed anymore. Because I can still appreciate you being more skilled than the guy, have a better jump shot, have a better mid-range game, have a better handle, be better on the box. I can appreciate that. But when I get you in an actual game and in a game setting, if a guy outplays you, now we're having a different conversation. I think we're having a completely different conversation. So I wonder about that. The better player versus playing better. I do often wonder about that. I want to hear from you guys. I do. I'd like to hear from you guys and what your logic is on the better player more than playing better. Because I think this best player thing, I think this best player conversation, I think this best player conversation, I think a lot of times it gets misconstrued. I do. This is interesting here. This is the same, just so y'all know, this is the same dude that, like, when I'm on another platform, which is PC, like when he get around his other cronies, yo, all the dude does is talk shit to me. Chill don't know the game. Chill don't know what he talking about. Chill don't know nothing. Chill is a capper. When he get around his other cronies, that's what he does with me. Now we in here, and this is an Oklahoma City guy too, by the way. I just want to I want to let you guys know that this is an Oklahoma City guy. That makes it clear that I don't know basketball. I don't know what I'm talking about. I cap all the time, and I'm a liar. So that's this dude. I just want to put that on your mind, guys. I do. I just want to put that on your mind, guys. So, I do. I'd like to hear. I definitely would like to hear that. So, and see, like this dude right here, right? Like this dude right here. Was this not was this not a conversation a year ago, or was it just hands down Siakam is better than Jaylen Brown? Was this not a conversation? Because it's interesting how when stuff comes up, right? How in the moment guys are. Because I said this already about Kawhi Leonard, that I don't think his body is going to allow him to play 2 more years. I don't. I think in 2 more years, right? I think in 2 more years, I don't think he's going to be around because I think his body is going to fail him. So because of that, now I'm a Kawhi hater, even though everything that Kawhi has shown is that he's breaking down. He ain't as quick as he used to be. He's not as athletic as he's not as quick as he used to be. He's not as athletic as he used to be. He could still do a lot of the stuff that he used to do and do it in stretches, but we've seen from him over the years, he will break down. He won't break down to the point where it's just a flat tire and we could fix that. No, the engine blows. And these injuries mount. And I feel like a guy like Kawhi Leonard, I'm not sure that his body is going to hold up. So when I said that a year ago, when I said that 2 months ago, I still stand on that logic because I'm not sure if he's going to hold up. So when I said that I thought Siakam and Jaylen Brown was a conversation and I thought Jaylen Brown was better, what was I going off of? I was going off the postseason. I was going off what he had done in the regular season, and I was going off what he had done when it mattered the most. I wasn't going off this dude telling me that, and I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that this dude is a Toronto guy. I am willing to bet dollars to donuts that he is, because there's no way you can sell me that it's not a question whether or not Siakam is hands down better than Jaylen Brown. There's no way you can sell me that it's not a question. Considering what Jaylen Brown averaged 27 and 7 last year. That's good enough for first team All NBA because I've already ran down the amount of guys who the number two on any team that has averaged 27 and 7. I've ran down the guys that have not done that and was first team All NBA. That's Doc and Moses, Jabbar and Magic, Bird and McHale, Jordan and Pippen, Stockton and Malone, Kobe and Shaq, Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. That's it. And none of those number 2s went 27 and 7. None of them. None of them. But when I said that I thought last season that Jaylen Brown should have been first team All NBA, considering, right? Considering that he played the small, they got him listed as a small forward when he came into the league as a 2 guard. When he came into the league as a 2 guard, right? When he came into the league as a 2 guard. And with him coming into the league as a 2 guard or as a guard, we very well could have had the conversation. that Jaylen Brown's first team All-NBA. Very well could have had that conversation. Very well could have had that conversation. And to the dude in the chat, just so you know, Shawn Kemp never made first team All-NBA. Not 1 year in his career was he ever first team All-NBA. Not one time. That includes Steph and KD too. Those two guys at no point while they were on the same team were they ever first team All-NBA. Never happened. So what up?
Yo, Chill, can you hear me?
What up?
Oh yeah, man. Regarding what you're saying about playing better versus being better, I think you can make, like, for example, you would say that SGA so far this year is playing better than a Steph, but we know that Steph is the better player.
That's fair.
And I think that at least this year I've been seeing it that people are really ready to crown guys. I don't know. I guess the new toy or the new guy on the block is always the hottest thing. And I don't remember people doing this last year, but I don't know this year. We're really ready to crown these new guys. Like Tyrese is the third best point guard in the league, and SGA is top 5. Like, everybody's been jumping off cliff this year, and I think we need to give these guys some time to show who they really are.
Well, Chosen, when did the postseason not matter?
Yeah.
Like, have we always just went off of what we saw right now? Did we not throughout time? Did you have to do it in the postseason continuously before we started talking about you? Like, when you talk about a guy being a top 5 player, like, that's a big deal, B.
Yeah.
That's not something that you just get, right? I can't just put you in the top 5 conversation just like that. Especially when you weren't in that conversation a year ago.
Exactly.
Or 2 years ago. Now, all of a sudden, it's like a prime example chosen is if a guy came out, a rapper came out, like, we wasn't even talking about you 2 years ago, and then you came out and you dropped a fire album, and then you dropped another fire album. Like, is he automatically a top 5 rapper all time?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, damn. Can we see this dude for a little while?
Yeah, because I assure you, if you ask most people, like, the same time this year, same time last year, December, January, if you ask most people,
like that,
where did you have SGA in December of last year? Where did you have SGA in January of last year? Most people probably wouldn't even have had him in their top 20.
I was just about to say that he might have been a top 20 player, maybe.
But then at the beginning of this year, we're having debates if he's already top 5. He's better than JT now. Like, where did he get up here? How
the
can
hell
you jump
we get
so many
here?
spots?
God damn.
How can you jump so many spots that fast?
And by the way, they ain't make the playoffs last year. Let's make sure we clear on that too, Chosen.
Exactly.
It wasn't like he had a Jamal Murray run like Jamal Murray had in 2020, right? Where when he went to the Western Conference Championship, right?
Yeah,
it's not like he did that.
That's another thing. Like, last year, SJ, he played phenomenal. He averaged 30. He was efficient, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
Tell me why Bradley Beal did the same thing when he was playing with Westbrook, and they actually made the playoffs. He was averaging 30 alongside Westbrook. Nobody was pushing top 10 agenda for Bradley Beal.
He was second in the league in scoring. Second in the league in scoring. I never heard anybody say Bradley Beal was a top 10 player. Not one time. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who, by the way, this is what we're not doing. Okay? This is what we're not doing, folks. We're not saying SGA is whack. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's top 15.
I don't think that he's whack. I want to make sure that we clear on that right now. I do not think he's whack at all. But to go from last season, in January of last season, I did not hear SGA was a top 20 player. And if he was, it was fringe top 20. I think I take that back. I think Lowe might have said to me last year that he had SGA at 18. I take that back. I think I take that back. Lowe did tell me that he had SGA at 18. Now, with that being said, right? With that being said, How do I move from 18, not making the playoffs? Because again, right? Because again, I'm looking at a guy who was first team All NBA. And when you first team All NBA and your team, I was objective to him making first team All NBA. I don't believe guards or anybody should be first team All NBA that don't make the playoffs.
D-Mitch deserved it.
That's what I thought was first team All NBA last year. I'm not trying to hear a guy being first team All NBA and not having a fantastic. When I say a fantastic season, I'm talking about like what Anthony Davis did in 2012. I'm sorry, in 2014 when he was first team All NBA. He was first team All Defense.
Yeah,
that's different. But when I think about SGA last season, if my memory serves me correct, I think Lowe had him at around 8 because when we actually ran this down. There was a bunch of us on, and I think Lowe had him at one point at 18. So with him being arguably being a top 20 player, and him not making the playoffs, and then this season we go from him being arguably a top 20 player to now he's automatically a top 5 player. I'd love to hear the logic in that.
That's a crazy leap.
I'd love to hear it. So love to hear it. Good to talk to you though, Chosen. I appreciate you, brother.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And just so you know, King, I don't think that my word is law. No, I do not. Right? I do not think that my word is law. No, I don't. I have no problem getting my word challenged. However, what you're not going to do is you're not going to tell me to take something back that's still a conversation where it's not undisputed. I'm not doing that. Hell no, am I doing that? Absolutely not. No way am I doing that. Hell no. And Jaylen Brown and Siakam was a conversation, a serious conversation, and it still is. Siakam is not hands down better than Jaylen Brown. No, he isn't. That's not true. That is not true. And because of that, I'm not going to take that back. I'm not going to take that back. Absolutely not. So, what's up, brother?
Oh, G, can you hear me?
Yep, you hot. What's up?
What's up? So the conversation is about essentially who is, the better player versus the player that's playing better.
Right.
I mean, we've seen this throughout history, I would say, through dozens. I mean, I think about Steph and Kyrie in the 16 finals.
Yep.
Where Steph had the better career. Obviously he had KD a couple of years, and a lot of players' career would look good if they had Kevin Durant alongside them.
Right.
But he was clearly playing better, I should say, in the 16 finals. But Curry's the better player right now. That's what I look at with Giannis and Joker. Right. I think it's unfair, and I think it would be disrespectful to the integrity of the game to call Jokic, who just won a championship, not the best player. But I did watch Giannis have a 60-piece this season.
Yes,
Plus he's giving me the defense at the same time and the rebounding. So it's definitely a conversation, and it's a good conversation. It's a really strong conversation. I'm not ready. Go ahead.
That point right there. That's why I can't. Even though I think Joker is the best player on the planet, I don't think it's undisputed.
No, it's not.
I think he's the best player on the planet, but Giannis has a legit Giannis is in that conversation.
It's not.
100%.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is.
Giannis is in that conversation.
And honestly, some people, particularly because of his playoff woes, don't. But as far as it relates to the regular season, Joel Embiid, I mean, this dude is just average 40 for the month of December. He's giving you the rebounds, he's giving you the defense, and so far his body is holding up. They're playing better, actually. So far, but I have to credit him because they are playing better with the James Harden saga over, than they were with him. I heard the guy before me talking about Shea, and I don't have Shea in my top 5. I have him in my top 10, just based off of what he's done last season and what he's doing this season, taking the league by storm. But
I don't have him in my top 10. I don't have him in my top 10 because the postseason matters to me. I care about the postseason.
Understood.
a lot of guys, a lot of guys stand on what's going on right now, and I can appreciate that because
just for the last 2 seasons, of course, I'm saying.
Of course, I care about when your game translates into the postseason.
Yeah.
I care about that, and for me to have a guy in the top 10 who I haven't seen in the playoffs in 4 years, that's putting a lot on it, B.
Yeah, it is.
That's putting a lot on it.
It is.
If you telling me to put a dude in, you telling me to put a dude in the top 10.
It's a lot of stock. It's a lot of stock to invest. It's a lot of stock for sure.
I haven't seen him in the postseason in 4 years.
I look at Shea for me and for why it's different or why I'm willing not to necessarily change my tune, but make acceptance is because he's doing this. Like he's giving everybody the business. I mean, I've watched him so far take down the Nuggets. I think they beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken. They blew them out with Joker playing. They've beaten.
Blew Minnesota out too.
They blew Minnesota out. They beat the Warriors, who I think the Warriors are a better team than what their current record shows right now.
That's correct.
And he's at the head of that. They just beat Boston. He's at the head of that stake. I have a lot of faith in who I think he'll become. But like I said, I have him towards like my number 8, guy. Who do you have in your top 10?
So in the top 5, and again, I want to make sure that my criteria is clear.
I'm writing mine down so I remember. Good.
I care about the postseason. So
okay.
Joker at 1, Giannis at 2, Luka at 3, Curry at 4, Jason Tatum at 5. Right outside the top 5, I got Embiid, I got Anthony Davis, I got I'm surprised. I'm sorry that I missed them. Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker.
Okay, I'm not. The Devin Booker one is you're gonna catch a lot of flack for that.
I'm sure
because how he's been playing as of late.
Now how he's been playing as of late. This was going into the season. This was my top 10.
Okay.
This was my top
10. You're sticking with your top 10 going into the season.
This was my top 10.
So for me right now, I've got Joker, I've got Giannis, I've got Embiid, I've got Luka, I've got Braun, I've got KD, I've got Curry, I've got AD, I've got Tatum, and then I got Shea.
That's actually who I thought about it, and I'm sorry that I missed him. I think I had Jimmy Butler at 7, and I had Donovan Mitchell at 8. You got to move Donovan Mitchell up. You got to move Donovan Mitchell down. KD is a top 10 player.
Absolutely.
KD is a top 10 player. 100% KD is a top 10 player.
For sure.
So that means if KD is in it, that means Donovan Mitchell has to come out.
He got to come out. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell has to come out.
That I understand.
Because KD is absolutely a top 10 player. That was my fault. I don't know why I forgot about KD. Probably because he got swept in the playoffs 2 years ago. And then last year.
Probably. Everywhere he goes, he's forcing trades and it's not working out.
It kind of threw me off the track a little bit. But Donovan Mitchell comes out. Donovan Mitchell is right outside the top 10.
Okay. That I can get with. That I can get with.
Again, Donovan Mitchell's right outside the top 10. Guys like that, again, because I think about what I care about is I care about what you did, when you did it, when you did it against,
and how long. Yeah.
And when I watch Jason Tatum, when they play against the Oklahoma City Thunder, shut the door and Shea in the last 5 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe he could do that for longer stretches in the game.
Right.
Instead of just the last 5 minutes of the game. Maybe
in other words, it's like from that movie with Adam Sandler and KG, and he was like, "Well, why you show it to me if I can't have it then?" Like if you're not able to be that dude, if you don't want to be that dude for risk of injury, risk of your health, whatever it may be, whatever your reasons are, maybe you feel like you're the star, so they should put a piece around you like a Marcus Smart, which I thought Drew Holiday that was supposed to help because Drew Holiday is better in my opinion. You've shown that you can do it. So if we're not going to get that from you, then I'd rather you just not engage at that side at all versus tease with it. You know what I'm saying? And make it seem like, I could shut this dude down while getting you 40 on the other end. And then after that, you don't see me no more. Because I think Jason Tatum can be, maybe not first team All-NBA defense, but he definitely could be on one of the teams for sure.
He should be
He's tall enough. He's big enough.
Defender
He's mobile enough. Yeah, absolutely. And he's improved. He is improved. I will give him his credit, but I don't think what we're seeing is at his absolute peak maximum of what we can see from a Jason Tatum.
Right.
So
and I think he can be better defensively. 100%.
Absolutely.
Good to talk to you, Eli. I appreciate you, brother.
Sir.
No doubt. No doubt. I had forgotten about. I think that my biggest issue with the older guys, and I've actually said this in previous shows, that I'm not going to hold back younger guys off the strength of these older guys basically being grandfathered in. I'm not doing that, yo. I'm not. Just because you've been in the league for 15 years, just because you've been in the league for 13 years, and this dude who's been in the league for 5 years, right? For this dude who's been in the league for 6, 7 years, and he's becoming awesome, I'm not gonna hold that dude back just because you're still here. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's why I don't think James is a top 10 player in the game anymore. I thought last year, probably last year, was the last year that I felt like he was I felt like last year was the last year that we was talking about him as the best player in the league, number one, and number two as a top 5 player. Now, if you think that LeBron James is a 7 to 10 player, I'm cool with that. If you think that he's anywhere between 7 and 12, I'm cool with that too. But I don't think that there's no way that I believe that LeBron James is a top 5 player anymore, and that he's a close to a top 5 player. If he's a top 10 player, he's on the back end of the top 10. And when I say back end of the top 10, I'm talking like 8, 9, 10. That's where I think he is. 100%. 100%. So because of that, that's how I feel. What up, Neff?
Yo, chill. What's going on, man?
What up?
Shit. Let me just. I had a question to ask you, but I forgot. So let me just go through my top 10 real quick. So I got Joker, Giannis, Embiid third, got Curry fourth, SGA fifth, KD sixth, Tatum seventh, Luka eighth, and then AD and Bron. AD's ninth, Bron is 10.
What's the SGA logic? No. Wait a minute. Before you answer that, what's the top 3 guys that you have? You got
Joker, Giannis, Embiid.
Now, what's the Embiid logic?
What he is doing this season is actually pretty incredible. In spite of like all of the drama that had been going on within the organization.
We heard that he wanted to get traded, and we thought he was going to be added there. It was a mess.
Yeah, it was absolutely a mess. But he stayed very, very composed, and he focused on his game. And you can just see it in the stats when you watch him play. Like he's enjoying it, and he's the hub of the offense. Of course, Tyrese Maxey's in there, but he's a supplementary piece for Embiid. I feel like if you put Maxey in a spot where either he had to be with another dominant guard like Dame or Curry or something, he wouldn't flourish as much. He needs some type of Embiid, Jokic, Giannis type player to maximize his abilities, I think.
I'm not sure if I keep going. I'm sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, that was basically the end of the thought.
I'm not sure that Maxey couldn't flourish if he played alongside a Damian Lillard or a Donovan Mitchell, but I do think that those guys kind of cancel out each other. Like Dame, I'm not sure that Dame is averaging 30 a game running with Jaylen Brunson. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that Devin Booker is averaging, 28 a game running with a guy who's not a distributor like Chris Paul was.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we haven't seen Chris Paul. I'm sorry, we haven't seen Devin Booker running with a guy like Donovan Mitchell. We haven't seen him running with a guy like SGA. So I don't know, right? I don't know if I don't know if that's fair for him, but I do know watching Tyrese Maxey that giving him the basketball, and even though he is a cornerstone, but giving him the basketball and making him your lead guard, I do think that he will flourish. And I think that if Embiid wasn't there and he was running with, I don't know, let's say Miles Turner, I still think he's a 22 to 25 a game and 7 assist guy because his ability to get downhill, his ability to knock down the long ball. I still think he can do that. And I still think he can distribute. I still think he can distribute at a damn good level.
I actually agree with that. Actually, yeah. I feel like if you put him with a guy like Miles Turner or Brook Lopez or someone not as good as Embiid, he would still do good.
Now don't ask him Neff to run with Jalen Duren and get 28 and 11. I think you're asking a lot.
Yeah,
I think you asking a lot. But like you just said, with your three guys, you got Embiid for what he's doing this season. So why is Luka as low as Luka is?
I know what he's doing is magnificent, but I'm a defensive value guy, and I know Curry is at 4, but literally Curry changed the way basketball was played and proved that it could win. That in itself is like invaluable, and it's like it transcends the game, like literally. So I hold that to a pretty high standard.
So you care about what Curry does, not so much on the defensive side of the basketball because he's so extraordinary on the offensive side of the basketball, and it leads to W's.
Exactly.
Particularly in the postseason.
Right. Exactly.
So can't we say the same thing about Luka?
Yeah, actually, yes. You're making me think here. Man, actually, I think I would put Luka above Tatum here. Because the inconsistency of Tatum and like his love to fall into the jump shot when he can really get in.
Not the jump shot, the 3-ball. Not the jump shot, the 3-ball.
The 3-ball, yes,
right.
Yes, the 3-ball, and then but he can literally get any looks he wants. Like he's that talented, he's that fast, he's that like the best defenders cannot hold him.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good to talk to you, though. I appreciate you. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And to the dude in the chat, Eastside, whatever your name is, you got some nerve calling me biased when you an Oklahoma City fan. And all you talk about is Oklahoma City. And you got some nerve to call me biased and to come in my space and call me biased when you are the epitome of a homer. And if we ain't talking about your boys, we ain't talking. You got some nerve to come into my space and call me biased when that's all you talk about is Oklahoma City and SGA this. You got some damn nerve. Who the hell you think you? I don't, and I don't need to. I do not. I don't. And here's the difference. The difference with me not supporting the team, takes away my bias from a team. But that doesn't mean that you're not biased because you support a team. So let's kill that logic right now. Kill it. And you too, King, whatever your name is, you got some nerve coming into my space. Get out of here, you dudes. Y'all make me sick, man. I swear y'all dudes do. Y'all think you think you're challenging logic when you're based. Let me tell you what you guys are. You're alcoholics calling me a drunk. That's what you are. Because you do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. So get out of here, man. Greek Goat says, in all honesty, OG, do you really feel Joker is better than Giannis? I do. Yes. If I'm sticking with my logic, and I'm being consistent with my logic, and what I think the best player on the planet is, yes, I do. I'm not just going off of Joker being better at basketball. No, I care about what you did. I care about when you did it. I care about where you did it. And I care about who you did it against. And I care about how long you did it. I don't just care that you're doing it right now. No, I don't care about that. No, I don't just care about that. Boss says, chill. I think Jacques Vaughn is wasting the young talent on Brooklyn. Cam Thomas, Jalen Wilson should be playing more. He doesn't trust young guys. Bob, if you know anything about me, you know that around this time last year, I was on the internet saying that Cam Thomas is wasting away on that Brooklyn bench and that he should have been dealt already. I'm on record saying that. I'm not saying that like now. I was on record saying that last year. And if anybody knows me, knows for a fact that I did say that. They know for a fact that I said that. So I do agree that Jacques Vaughn is not really sure what he's doing with those guys. And to the point of Brooklyn, I still think that losing Ben Simmons was huge for that crew. Huge. HNY went back and listened to your SGA MVP take, and I get it. Oh yeah, I don't know what that means, Marquavian, but all right. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I want to talk back. I want to get back to what we were talking about earlier when I was talking about the Knicks and Philly, because I'm actually looking forward to that game tonight. I am. I'm looking forward to that game tonight. I hear a lot of people saying to me, a lot of times when I'm on, whether I'm here or whether I'm on TikTok, I hear a lot of people saying to me, "Yo, G, what do the Knicks need to do in order to get pushed over, the hump?" And my logic is, and really quick, Marquavian says, you don't have SGA as him. What do you mean I don't have him as? I don't think he's that dude. Well, I think he's a fantastic talent, Marquavian. I still have to see it translate. See, unlike you, brother, unlike a lot of these other dudes, unlike a lot of these other dudes, I care about what happens in the postseason, man. I don't just value the postseason. I do value the regular season. I do value the regular season. I don't just value the postseason, but I do value the postseason. So when a guy like SGA comes along, oh, absolutely. I'm rubbing my hands together like, yo, this dude looks like he's about to be something special. Absolutely. I still needed to translate to the postseason before I could talk about this dude. Before I can talk about this dude like that. I can't talk about him like I talk about the rest of these dudes because the puzzle isn't complete. The puzzle isn't complete. And because the puzzle isn't complete, I can't talk about him like, because the puzzle isn't complete, I can't talk about him like that. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying when you said, maybe I misunderstood what you said when you said, I want to make sure that I got it right, what you said, because you said HNY went back and listened to your SGA MVP take, and I get it. As SGA, so you went back and heard my SGA take, and you understand it. Okay, all right, right. I want it to be. I want it to be made clear that I do want it to be made clear that I cannot jump out the window. A prime example would be a guy. A prime example would be a guy like Tyrese Halliburton. And I get what you're saying, Marquavian. I do. I get what you're saying. Word. I understand you. But what I'm saying is a guy like Tyrese Halliburton, I can dig your game, but not jump out the window. Like, yo, this dude is the best league guard in the game. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And the reason why I can't do that is because I wouldn't be fair to the other guys who it took them some time to get there. I can't do that with this dude. But I can also recognize, man, Tyrese Halliburton is fantastic. Wow. Watching that dude, he is fantastic. Man. Wow. That guy is fantastic. And I'm still standing on the logic that I think that in another 2 years, maybe 3, I'm not going to go with maybe 3, but I think 2 years tops. Right? Maybe 2 years tops. I think we're going to have a serious conversation about Tyrese Halliburton being the best league guard in the game. I do. I think that's going to be a serious conversation. And we're going to have it. We're definitely going to have it. This dude right here, let me address this really quickly. Not this right here, but this right here. No Joker is not a tough shot. No Joker is not an underrated tough shot maker. No, he isn't. Everybody knows how good Joker is as a shot maker in the paint, shooting the long ball, shooting floaters, shooting over guys like Anthony Davis, who, by the way, last season, most people had him as the defensive player of the year. He was scorching him, and it wasn't like it was easy. Anthony Davis put a hand in his face. Anthony Davis crowded him on the perimeter. Anthony Davis crowded him on the box. Those weren't easy shots. This guy is not underrated as a tough shot maker. He is arguably the best tough shot maker in the game, along with his teammate in Jamal Murray. In Jamal Murray. So with that being said, I think you're wrong about that. I absolutely think you're wrong about that. If you don't, just remember that you said that, King, whatever your name is. I think I remember you. I think you that Brooklyn dude. I think you that Brooklyn dude that was in my comments like maybe 2 years ago. And give me a break, man. I'm good on you. But anyway, I want to talk about the Knicks and Philly real quick. Right? I want to talk about the Knicks and Philly real quick. What you doing here, B? Like, why are you really here? Like, for real? Because you ain't here to talk basketball. You that I remember who you are. Matter of fact, beat it. No, actually, you don't gotta leave. I can just ignore you. I can just ignore you because I can actually have conversations with people who disagree with me that know basketball. But you, on the other hand, you think that you challenging my takes. You're not. You're not. You actually talk in circles. And if you want to battle rap, and this is what I'm thinking is really going on, because this is a New York dude. New York dudes is real feisty. If you want to battle rap, how about this, my man? How about this? There's the link. Don't challenge my takes in the chat. Come on up here. How about that? Don't challenge my takes in the chat. Here's the microphone right here. Come on up here. How about that? Let's do that. Let's do that instead. Because I'm not one of these people who, like, you scream in the crowd, yo, you suck. No, come up on stage and do that. Come up on stage and do it. I don't want to talk to nobody but you. You want to challenge my take. So essentially what you want to do as a battle rapper, you want to battle me. Come on up here and do it. Come on, my man. Come on up here. Right. There it is right there. And I'm glad you said that. Jersey dudes can never F with New York dudes. The Jersey dude is giving you the mic and he asking you to come on stage right now. Where you at, bro? Where you at? What up, Leaf?
Pass that ball, CT. What's going on? Listen,
what up?
I'm gonna go with something that we all been thinking about. Hey, what's some trade packages that you thinking of? Because I got some in mind, and it's probably gonna get real ugly and nasty. Some of my Brooklyn natives gonna be getting mad at me, but I need to hear some of your trade packages, man.
I don't have any major ones. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't have any major ones. I got a few that are
okay.
Like Siakam to Memphis. I love Siakam in Memphis.
Oh yeah, talk more about that. Talk more.
I love Siakam in Memphis.
I was hearing more about him to Golden State.
I don't like him in Golden State. I don't.
No. So all right, let me hear about this Memphis thing. I need to hear more about this.
The reason
you
why
did talk about him in Indiana yesterday.
I like him in Indiana too. I do. But I do like him in Memphis more.
My only rebuttal to the Indiana thing is that they bench is pretty damn good.
Yes, it is.
Like, you got Matherin, You got McConnell, Jackson. I think they got Buddy coming off the bench for who they just got this year from they just got him from the Nuggets. Brown.
Oh, you're talking about Bruce Brown? Yes, Bruce Brown. Yes,
and
Bruce
they
Brown.
got
Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin.
You got a 5-man. You got damn near a 10-man rotation.
And they all play too, by the way. They all play
to help out with the starting 5, and combined they putting together a record-setting pace offense in all categories.
They just can't stop nobody. They just can't stop nobody. No.
You said this before. It's not that they can't stop nobody. You said they not interested in playing defense.
I think I can hit you more than I can stop you from hitting me. That's who they are.
Yeah. They not. I think, and you know what? I don't. In the Eastern Conference, that's a deadly game you playing. You know what I'm saying? Because
and you're gonna lose too. It's not only a deadly game. You're gonna lose. You're going to lose. It's like all right. Russian roulette with a machine gun. You're going to get popped. I'm telling you.
Listen, right now. I understand that. However, I think they're trying to work on possibly getting an anomaly off. That's what I think they're trying to do. I could be wrong about that, whatever the case may be. But
we've never seen a team since you've been watching the NBA. Since I've been watching the NBA, we've never seen a team win that can't guard. We've never seen that, bro.
No. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I know that. Listen, in your era, you had the '80s Denver Nuggets. Hell of an offensive team. Fantastic. They couldn't guard. Fantastic. You saw Tim Hardaway and run TMC in that day. Couldn't guard. You know what I'm saying? You saw that Steve Nash and the Suns in the 2000s. I was alive for that. Couldn't guard. That's why they couldn't get out of the West. So, listen, I think probably the only anomaly is probably the Warriors.
The Warriors had the year when in 17 when they won it, they had a top 10 defense.
Okay, all right, yeah. So
in 15, I think they had a top 12 defense in 15.
Top 12. Okay, all right, top 12. But top 10, top 12. Around that name, but you still got to play some type of defense.
You got to slow people down, yo. It can't just be. We're not gonna win 140 to 135. We're not.
Right.
But not happening.
Okay. But getting back to the trade packages, talk to me more about Pascal on Siakam.
I do like him. I like him in Memphis, and the reason why I like him in Memphis.
You seem like you got a plan for this, man. I need to hear this.
I'm thinking about what they have in Memphis, right? So Siakam ain't, but I think he's 28, 29. He comes off the books.
He'll be 30. He'll be 30 this year.
Okay, so that means that he got probably 4 or 5 more years left at this level. Ja only 25. Ja's 24. Marcus Smart. I'm down to put a trade package together because if I got Ja, if I got Marcus Smart, and I got Desmond Bane, and I got Siakam, what I want to do, because Siakam is listed at the power forward. Siakam is really a 3-man. That's really what he is. So what I want to do is he's always been a 3-man. I want to put Siakam at the 3. Put Jaren Jackson at the 4, which is his natural position, and Steven Adams at the 5. Right. Got Desmond Bane at the 1. I got Desmond Bane at the 1, and I got Ja at. I'm not Desmond. I'm sorry. I got Ja at the 1. I got Desmond Bane at the 2, and I got Marcus Smart playing behind him.
Okay. So what you thinking about is more so of a signing? You thinking Memphis could possibly sign him? That's a destination, bro.
Well, here's the thing. You're not going to be able to keep these guys if you get Siakam on the crew. So you're going to have to give somebody up, right? So with that being said, you're going to lose probably Desmond Bane. You could possibly lose Marcus Smart. I don't think that a jury wants Marcus Smart. I think he's good on Marcus Smart. I think that you could also lose one of your dirty work guys, whether it's Brandon Clark or Xavier Tillman. You could lose one of those dudes. But if I could keep Ja, if I could keep Jaren Jackson, I'm down to move off this other stuff. I'm down to move off Desmond Bane for Siakam. I'm down to move off Marcus Smart for Siakam. I'm down to do that.
I'm just going back what you said about the agent and about him on this level, and I'm thinking about obviously playing with Ja Morant. You're going to have to be accustomed to playing with that speed and playing up and down with him. I think the players that he has with him it's comparable. You know what I'm saying? If you go and look back in the games he came back, Desmond Bane was ready. You know, he was like, "Oh, yo, I'm ready. I'm running with you." He put up 30 something in a couple of games, and then he complimented him. So he knows how to. So getting guys that know how to play with Ja Morant is key, because it's at times where you in a half court set, Ja Morant is working in the middle, and everybody's just standing around. We've seen that. So my thing is like Siakam with his ability to get his own shot in the half court set, he could offset what Ja Morant is doing. But at the same time, I'm like, isn't that what Jaren Jackson Jr. is supposed to be there for? Because he could get his own offense every now and again himself too. And I'm thinking, and then putting Siakam at the 3. And now that he's getting older, I think that's more of a young man's position now.
I think he's in his prime, to be honest with you. I don't think he's old. I think he's at 30 years old. I think he's in his prime. And I think I could get 3-4 more years of this from him.
All right, so I got players in mind. So obviously, I don't know, like Nets Twitter, every now and again, Donovan Mitchell name comes up almost all the time on Nets Twitter. I listen, and before you go nuclear, Donovan Mitchell name always comes up, and I know the reason why, because I don't think he's interested in going to the Knicks just for the sole purpose that Brunson is over there, and they basically they
offset each other. They
offset each other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So another player I was thinking about, and you have mentioned Miles Turner time and time again at the 5. I'm thinking about Larry Marketing. The reason why I'm thinking about Larry Marketing, scorer, he could play the 3 or the 4, could score, he could shoot the ball, provide a lot of offense. Defensively, he ain't a cone, but you know, he's okay. I don't know what are the chances if they do get two players like Spider and Marketing, what are the chances of Nick Claxton and Cam Thomas being there when they get done?
Well, if you're gonna get Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland, he's gonna have to. I don't think that
Cam Thomas is gonna have to be in there.
Yes, and I don't think that Cleveland, in terms of a trade package, they're gonna ask for, because Donovan Mitchell on the books for 2 more years, so it's not like Cleveland.
He got a 1+1. He got don't he got a player out?
Right, he's on the books for 1 more year. After it's 2 years, but he's got a player out. So with that being said, I don't think Cleveland is just handing him over, especially after everything that they gave. They gave up 4 1s.
They did, but at the same time, I'm thinking more of the Larry Marketing side of things. Mm-hmm. If you really want him, Danny Ainge is gonna want like a farm. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I don't know what it is. He just
I'm telling you right now, Danny Ainge is the dude in the neighborhood, the hustler in the neighborhood. I am not dealing with. If anytime Danny Ainge call me, click, because I know for a fact I could lose my car keys, I could lose the keys to my house, I could lose my girl. I am not dealing with Danny Ainge. No.
All right, so
no.
If you the Nets, so if you Sean Marks, Danny Ainge tap your phone tap you. He hitting your lineup for 2 days. You leaving him on red. You leaving him on read. You leaving him.
You might turn around and you might end up with somebody like Colin Sexton. You might end up with Colin Sexton, and you gave up Claxton, you gave up Cam Thomas, and you gave up 3 1s. And you like, how the hell you do that?
Yo, but
I'm not dealing with Danny Ainge. No.
But Chilltown, I understand what you mean with Danny Ainge point of view, but
no.
I'm gonna go. Listen, if you go and look at the salaries, we got a whole bunch of expiring contracts.
Which is Danny Ainge is rubbing his hands together, going, get them dudes on the phone. Leaf, I'm telling you, stay away from Danny Ainge.
All right. So I'm gonna give you one more name. DeJounte Murray. How you feeling about DeJounte Murray? Because he on the books for 4 years. So if you want to get somebody, you would want to go after him. You just got to figure out if Atlanta is gonna play ball. So how you feeling about DeJounte Murray?
I think Atlanta loves Siakam too. But the holdup is this kid Kobe something that they have down there. Yeah,
Kobe.
yeah, I forgot his last name, but he's one of the holdups because apparently he's one of the better young players. Him, the kid Jaylen, I think Jaylen Johnson that they had down there. Yeah, he's one of the holdups.
They like Jaylen Johnson.
They like him, and they like this kid Kobe. So knowing that Siakam is basically going to be a rental, they're a little apprehensive about it. I get that.
I exed DeJounte Murray out of the Nets plans because of how everything ended in San Antonio. And if you go look at our staff, Sean Marks and Jock Vaughn was around during that time.
Right.
So the thing is, I don't know if DeJounte Murray is part of that nice guy, character guy that they want in Brooklyn, because
in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah, because the thing is, I'm looking at our roster and I see a whole bunch of nice guys. I've seen a whole bunch of, character guys. There's no guy with no edge or no attitude.
Just so you know, DeJounte Murray, he's from Bedford-Stuyvesant. It's just called Seattle.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's called Seattle. Yeah.
He's with the drama. Don't let that.
Yes, he is.
Don't let the clean cut. Don't let the professionalism. No, he's definitely from Brooklyn. Don't let that fool you. And he would fit right in with you dudes. I've said this to you already, Leaf, and I can appreciate your trade packages. My issue is Ben Simmons getting healthy. Ben Simmons gets healthy, you dudes are a different unit. I gotta go, Leaf. I gotta bounce, brother.
Ben Simmons ain't gonna never get healthy.
If I can get something where I can get what I'm getting like from Zion, where I could get a couple of years of health, then I'm straight. But he throws a monkey wrench in it. So
it's too big of a monkey wrench, man. It's bad.
I gotta bounce.
Of course. All right, man. Pass the ball. Keep passing.
I will. My man. Absolutely. I know I was supposed to talk to you about the Knicks, which I want to do that right now really quickly. I feel like this Knicks squad, somebody asked me, OG, what do the Knicks need to do in order to get pushed over the hump and be a championship team? If you think about the championship teams over the last couple of years, all of them had top 5 players. The Detroit Pistons were an anomaly. Dallas was not an anomaly. I think Dirk was a top 5 player in 2011. So there has to be something significant that you're building around Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle in order for you to win the NBA championship. Because when you get later in the rounds, when you get to the Eastern Conference Championship, when you get to the NBA Finals, you do not have the best player on your unit in that series. You don't. You got a backup 5-man masking right now as a 5-man, as a starting 5-man. I don't think Hartenstein is actually a starting 5-man. I think he's a fill-in, which is a backup. And I think he's doing a considerable job. I think that's good. But when you run into teams like Philadelphia, which you're going to see tonight, when you see the difference between a 5-man and an elite 5-man, you're going to see the difference tonight. And it's not going to be pretty. So because of that, this is why you need to build, number one, have a top 5 player, and number 2, have a legit counter for somebody like that. And as of right now, you don't. But I do think that the Knicks are a playoff team. I think that they're a good playoff team. I think they're a top 5 seed in the East. I do think that. But in terms of them being the best in the game, it's going to be hard to do, brother. It's going to be hard to do. I got a couple more super chats that I got to read. Pip named Slickback says, yep, like Spencer Dinwiddie playing over Cam Thomas. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm not sure what Jacques Vaughn is doing. I said it already, Pimp, that with him doing that, man, he really threw a monkey wrench in Cam Thomas. I felt like he was wasting away over there. I did. I just felt like he was wasting away over there. Like, what are we doing with this dude? Liam says, do you consider the team's success a factor in rating top 10 players right now, or just individual accomplishments? Well, individual accomplishments, that factors into team success. So prior to last year, the guards that made first team All-NBA, the teams were in the playoffs. Prior to last year, guards that made first team All-NBA, their teams went deep into the playoffs, won the NBA championship. And that was largely due to this guy, whether it was the guard or the big. It had a lot to do with it. So with that being said, I think those two things go hand in hand. One hand washes the other. This doesn't work without this. So those individual accomplishments ultimately make the team better. My man Leaf Diggy said, pass the ball. I got you. What trade packages you got in mind? We just talked about it. And my man Rolo said, finally, the Magic retired Shaq's number. I did see that. I did. They put him in the Ring of Honor. They put him in the Ring of Honor, and they retired his number. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And because of that, he deserves it. I still think Dwight Howard's the best player to ever play for the Orlando Magic. But for what Shaq did in them 4 years and putting Orlando on the map, none of y'all cared about the Orlando Magic. Nobody did. No, especially during that time, none of us did. We couldn't care less about the Orlando Magic. We couldn't. I am not solely in on Philly, but as a regular season team, and I'm in on Maxey, and I'm glad that they did what they did with Maxey. We're giving him the basketball and moving on from James Harden, but it's become apparent that this team's going to go as far as Joel Embiid takes them at the end of the day. As good as Maxey is, as good as Melton is, as good as Tobias Harris is, as good as all of these guys are, this team is going to go as far as Joel Embiid takes them. So speaking of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, game's about to start in a little bit. And really quick before I go, Bubba Cut says, quote, you tripping on Embiid being out of the top 5. Let me ask you a quick question. In 2011, who was the league MVP in 2011? I'm listening to you guys. Who was the league MVP in 2011? I'm listening. Who won the league MVP in the 2010-2011 season? Derrick Rose? Right, D Rose did. Now, with that being said, Guts, am I out of line if I say I'm not sure Derrick Rose in 2010-2011, I can't say with 100% certainty that he was a top 5 player during that time. In that season, going into the 2011-2012 season, I can't say with 100% certainty that Derrick Rose was a top 5 player. Am I out of line if I said that? Yes or no? I'm looking forward to this Knicks-Philly game tonight. I'm looking forward to that. And in the process of me looking forward to that, there's other games going on tonight. So I will definitely be club hopping, so to speak, on League Pass. And I will be back soon. You guys know where to find me at. As you guys know, Players' Choice has been remodeling and revamping, and we're going to be back in effect in a couple of weeks. But until that time, this is where you guys found me at. This is where I'm always going to be, regardless. And this is what it is. And I will see you guys real soon. And before I go, cuts. Let's get to the bottom of something. Even though Joel Embiid led the league in scoring. Yeah, before I go real quick, because Cuts wants the drama. So let's get the drama. All right, let's get the drama. Because you want to fight, you got to fight, Cuts. Sure. Derrick Rose in 2010-2011 took that team to a 60-win season. Not only did he take them to a 60-win season, took that team to the Eastern Conference Championship. You're going off Joel Embiid leading the league in scoring and flaming out in the postseason, which we've seen numerous times with him. I didn't see Derrick Rose flame out in the postseason. And this is the league MVP, by the way. And in the process of him being the league MVP, I'm not sure that Derrick Rose was a top 5 player. You don't value the postseason. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about you just being awesome in the regular season if it doesn't translate to the postseason. I don't care. If what you're doing in the regular season is translating to the postseason, now we having a conversation. But if you're talking to me about Joel Embiid averaging 33 a game last season in 11 and flaming out in the postseason, then you really want me to talk about him like I talk about Jason Tatum, who bounced him numerous times in the playoffs and outplayed him in the playoffs? Is that what we're doing? Is that what you're doing? Because I'm not doing that. I will not do that. And you won't make me do that. You will not make me do that. What I'm saying specifically, when I talk about a guy in Joel Embiid is playing right now fantastic. I think he's the only guy. This is the third year, and I think this is the third year in a row that he's led the league in scoring. Last dude to do that is Shaq. Let the bigs, by the way. Bigs. I'm sorry, that's not true. It's not Shaq. It's Chamberlain. Last big man to lead the league in scoring multiple years is Chamberlain. Can't no other big man in NBA history say that they did that. It doesn't mean anything to me if it doesn't translate in the postseason. I don't care that you're 35 and 11. I don't care that you're 33 and 12 if you flame out in the postseason. And I don't mean flame out in the East Finals. I don't mean flame out in the NBA Finals. I mean when you get to the playoffs and you are underperforming, which is what Joel Embiid has done. And what you're going to try to sell me is, that Joel Embiid, this is what you're going to try to sell me. Joel Embiid was hurt. I'm not trying to hear that. I am not trying to hear that. And I'm glad you brought that up, Bubba Cuts, because if you talking about James Harden, tell everybody in here what James Harden did in the postseason. Tell everybody here how far James Harden got in the postseason. He got further than Joel Embiid. That's for damn sure. I'm 100% confident he did do that. He did get further than Joel Embiid. So parts of his game translated. Joel Embiid, on the other hand, did he do that? Did he? No, he didn't. So I'm good. I am good. And with that being said, I got to bounce. And I will see you guys soon. Big Ox, what up, brother? What up, brother? My man Big Ox in the house. What up, Big Ox? I will see you guys soon. I got to bounce. Until then, take it light. Take it. Great stream. Absolutely digging it.